When it comes to custom clubs, everybody says, how much would you spend? I have one of the most custom clubs you can get out on the market. Maybe you can't get it yourself. It would have to be off eBay, it would have to be online, and that is a Circle T putter. So this is a tour only putter. The head cover normally coming in between £300 and £500, so just for the head cover would cost you more than a standard putter. But this putter alone could be up to £15,000, and you'll see some of those online now. Extreme customization on this putter, and it is for a player who played on the European Tour, played on the DP World Tour, had a hole-in-one at the Open, but unlike me and James, he's a little bit taller than us. He is 6'10", so extremely tall. It's a foot tall, well, debatable, maybe a little bit more, but obviously he is quite tall. So this putter needs to be the right length. And when we're looking for a putter, guys, the biggest thing that I work on and what I want you to do when you're thinking about purchasing a new putter is getting the right length. How many times I see people have a putter too short, they're over it like this, and that putter starts to work all over the place. So this player, being 6'10", is going to have a longer putter. So this is obviously all the way up at 37.5 inches. So this is not something that you would find in the shops. And you'll see James has zoomed in there on another key point that is on this putter. So we have got an alignment aid on the top of that, which is what you don't see normally from Scotty Camerons. If we look from this from face on, you would instantly think that this could be your bog standard Scotty Cameron. Again, from the back, if we was looking without the T in there, we'd think, well, this is one of the standard putters. But again, here we've got different alignment aids, which is something that you could do in a custom shop. You could send this putter off, but obviously, is it going to make a big difference in regards to how you putt? You see there, if I don't line that up right and if I don't put a good stroke on it, we're still going to miss. So why? Good pace. So why do people have obviously putters like this? Why do tour players have them, and why do people want to buy head covers like these and putters like these? Yes, you could say it's a little bit of ego. Do they want to say that I've got more money than you? Is that because I've got a £3,000 putter in the bag? Yes, but the customization on this, one other thing, you'll see that it has got a ping grip on there. So your Scotty Cameron diehards out there will be saying that is terrible. And again, that's just a grip that the player did enjoy. This is one that is used all the time, so he put that on there. We'll also see that there is no steps in this shaft. So this is a stability shaft here that was put in there to get the weight a little bit heavier. And that's, again, when you go longer in the putter, you maybe don't want all the weight in that head. It's the same if you're a tall person and you've got your clubs changed, then you want something that's going to have a good feel throughout that club head. You can see there a good roll on that and a good chance from this distance. But when we talk about tour only putters and tour only, let's talk about stats. From there, obviously I was around about 10 feet away. A tour player, even with a £3,000 putter, would only be looking at maybe holing 1 in 3. And the big thing is, obviously, if you're on a PGA Tour event, the winner often only holes 4 putts outside of 10 feet to win the tournament. So you think about that. How many times do you have a 10 footer, 15 footer, and you're expecting to hole it when you're out there playing, and your handicap might be 5, it might be 10, it might be 15, it might be 25, it might even be above that, but expectations are something that are quite misleading. We know when it comes to putting, it is the most used club. Top clean in there. It is the most used club in your golf bag. So we want to make sure it's right, and that is obviously getting the right length, also getting the correct neck design on there. James has just recently had a new putter. He's changed the neck design that he used, and if he'll send it me, which I'm sure he will.
Oh, I'll send it you, mate, don't you worry.
We'll get the montage of James's putting.
1 out of 3. You've put yourself under pressure.
1 out of 3, right, okay, we're back in. So obviously James is going to send me that montage, which you'll see on there. He's been putting exceptionally well, but he was fitted for that. And James, as we've discussed already, is not the tallest individual, but the putter length is 36 inches. So again, something that you often don't see when you go into your local shops.
Eyes over the ball isn't a thing anymore, is it?
No, so we want to see you a little bit taller in the setup, so longer. We get your eye line just inside the ball to help with the natural arc. And that is a big push. So I'm not tour standard, but when we've got this putter, and the reason why it is heavier and why you might go heavy, why you might go longer, is more for your pace control. So obviously the biggest thing, the reason why players often score higher is because from a distance like this, 20 feet, we often see that we are 3-putting from here. On tour average, you'll be looking at around about 33 feet where you would be expected to 3-putt from. But how many times I see people from here They lose a little bit of connection with the arms. We start to see I've struck it well. Oh, it's hit the hole, but I'm using the backstop there. And you've raced that by. Then you've got a 5-footer and you're obviously not confident over that. And that's where we start to get your scores going higher. So having this shaft in there for this individual golfer was able to get him improving his pace and starting to give him a chance. You see there, I'm better from 20 feet than I am from 10 feet. So again, tour average from here would be 1 in 5. So you think about that, how many times you hit your shots to here. You've hit a fantastic 6-iron, like here on the second at Woolley Park. You've got the putter out and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You then knock that one 5-foot past. It's going to be an extremely long round. So let's have another go. But you see there, pace is pretty good, just short, and that's where you've got to be happy with that.
When you say pace is good and it was short, people are going to be saying never up, never in, but there's actually a formula, isn't there?
Correct, so tour average you're looking at 10%. So 10% from 20 feet would give you 2 feet short, 2 feet long. Yes, we'd like you to be in the past, but even if that's inside your tour average, that's going to give us the best chance to get out of here with the 2-putt and move on. You see straight away here, I've got a lot more work to do. I've now got a downhill slider. It's 5 feet here, so you'd say, well, yeah, but this is a high percentage. This is 75% on tour. Yes, it is, but that's again where you've got to have the right putter. James is struggling there. Thought he'd fell over. But here we go. Can we get out? And that is a pretty good roll. But let's do a little bit of a test here. We're going to do a little bit of a spiral. We're going to change scenery. So not quite the change of scenery. We haven't ended up at waterfront, but I have ended up with another putter. So another Scotty Cameron putter right here. A bit of a classic, and this is one that I used to have in my golf bag many moons ago. So exactly the same. So in regards to obviously what kind of neck, we're getting exactly that. This putter is actually from Golf Clubs for Cash, and this retails at £249. So still quite high to say how old this putter is. I can guarantee it's at least 15 years plus in age, if anyone could comment exactly what year this came out. Let's do this hole in out drill. So obviously the point of this is trying to see, obviously, is it worth the money for getting one of those? I know you can't get one unless you go on eBay and you just want it in your bag, but we've got a 5-footer here, which tour average would be 75% make rate. We've got an 8-foot putt there, which again would then be 50% on tour, and then we have a 10-footer, which we are looking at tour average being 1 in 3, so 33%. So we'll take the flag out here and we'll go through this. So am I going to hole more? Am I going to roll it any better? That is the big debate here. So you all probably know the answer already. And again, down behind the golf ball, looks fantastic. So a great roll, slight misread there, but again, tour average would say 75%, but comment below how many of you do miss. So now up to 8 feet, which like I say, again, is 50-50. So this is where obviously it's being realistic with yourself. You could spend all the money in the world, you could spend £3,000, £15,000 on a putter. Doesn't mean you're going to hole putts. Your tour average and your average of holing putts is still extremely low percentage-wise. But that's a good roll there again. Not the best strike, but we can see using these tour response balls, a good roll on that. So now this is 1 in 3. So Dave is behind the camera, the man, the myth, and he's just asking, would I take the flag out? And this is, again, it's all down to personal preference here, leaving the flag in, taking the flag out. I've seen studies that say it's better to leave the flag in, some to say that you should take it out. We all know there's different flags at different golf clubs. So it all depends on what you prefer. But again, I would say 1 out of those 3, is that going to help me? I'm going to move these tees, so it is a fair test, because there's no point hitting the same putts again, because obviously I now know the line a little bit better. So I'm going to move these around. We've holed 1. Are we going to hole more? Right, so for Dave's test here, we're going to leave the flag in on these putts. So again, I've set up exactly the same. We've got the 5-footer to start with, so just outside the left now. And this is where you're thinking, okay, does it feel much better? Again, looks behind the ball, looks identical. Other than obviously the colour of that before someone comments, yes, it's a different colour, but shape-wise, everything. And we know this putter is that little bit longer because, again, it is customised to somebody who is 6'10", so Obviously quite a lot taller than myself, a lot taller than James Robinson. But let's see. And again, that was rocketed in, but a great roll. And I wouldn't say the roll is any better. It does feel softer off this face. Again, we had an insert on the older Scotty Cameron, so that's obviously going to have effect. We know over the years the Scotty Camerons have changed the face. They have gone milled, they have gone insert. They've now gone back to the milled putters with some new putters on the way. But the same result, exactly what we expected to see. I hold both 8-footers randomly, missed the short one, missed the long one. But guys, have you ever seen one of these? Would you contemplate one? I'm guessing a lot of you would say no. For me, it's a nice thing to have if you're a tour player, because we know tour players might not be dipping into the pocket.